Hello, thank you so much for being here at Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. My name is Cindy. This is actually a bonus reading for this week. It's being released on Friday. So Pendulum Friday is still happening. In fact, that video was released a little bit earlier. Um, but I thought that it would be a good time to just already take a peek and see how the debate is going to go, because the energy around it has been like up and down and round and round, and I was having a really hard time kind of figuring out if Trump was actually going to like show up. So I'm ready to take a look at it now. So you're gonna, as I said, you're gonna be seeing this on Friday. That means that, the debate is, when is it? The 10th. So on the Tuesday of next week. So let's take a peek and let's just see if we can figure out how the debate is going to go between Kamala Harris and the former guy. Here we go. Insight on debate, insight on debate, insight on debate. Okay, so let's start here. It's literally, you've got the two and the Three of Wands sitting beside the Two of Cups. Okay, so the Two of Cups is representing them, right? So you've got a lot of communications going on, a lot of talk, a lot of chatter going on. So based on this, I'm going to say, yeah, absolutely, he's going to show up for the debate. So there's going to be a couple of things that sort of go against him. One is the fact that there's not going to be an audience, okay? And so that's his thing, right? He feeds off of the audience's laughter and their oohs and their ahs and whatever. That's not going to be there. So that's going to be a problem for him. This is the thing. He thinks because he did so amazing against Biden and because he completely intimidated Hillary that time, that this is going to be just a shoo-in for him. But he's really discounting how incredibly sharp Kamala is. I mean, not only is she wicked intelligent, incredibly well spoken, very, very knowledgeable, but she has that amazing ability to, in very few words, kind of put somebody in their place. Um, I'm thinking in particular, I mean, of course, the famous one of, excuse me, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking, but I'm also thinking about when she was interviewing Bill Barr. And he was like, oh, well, I'm kind of hung up on this word. And then she rattled off five other alternative words. And me, hun, okay, so no, right? It's like she just has that ability to kind of put people in their place. And honestly, it's not going to be a hard job with Trump. Let's take a look at this. He's not out on the campaign trail, all right? Which means that he's in sort of a rest mode, all right? So day by day, he's not getting built up. He's not getting hyper. He's not like repeating those same worn out lies over and over and over again so they just trip off his tongue. He is right now kind of hiding out, all right? So that's part of it. It's almost like he's not energetically getting geared up kind of enough, if that makes sense. Um, Second, his cognitive decline continues, all right? Third, the environment is not going to be really conducive for his best performances. Now, he is going to try to um, sort of bamboozle her with nonsense, right? He's just going to be gabbing, 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 gabbing. But what he doesn't understand is that she completely understands how to get his emotions, Ace of Cups, get his emotions sort of all rattled, right? Um, she reads him really accurately, and she knows exactly the things that make him crazy. Being called weird makes him crazy. Being referred to as a felon really annoys him. All right, and so she knows those triggers, and she is not going to hesitate to use those triggers. Let's try to remember, shall we? She's a prosecutor. That's what she does. Talking on her feet, being quick, being clever, having the facts and the data right there at her fingertips, that's bread and butter to her. On the other hand, Trump is going to have a little bit of an issue because he's going to really, really find out that he's like floundering with her. Okay, she's not a Hillary Clinton. She is 8 years past that. Everybody's watched him, everybody's watched his behavior, everybody's figured out his triggers, how to sort of manipulate him. And she's not, and I mean, I'm not saying that Hillary Clinton did a lousy job. I'm just saying that politics and situations have changed, where Hillary Clinton was still adhering to the norms and the professional kind of behaviors or the typical behaviors of politics and debates, where he was like hulking around the stage. Um, Kamala's not going to be subjected to that, and even if he dared to try it, he would be put in his place very, very quickly. So he's going to continue to be the fool, but he's going to be the fool who finds out that he is really, really out of his league. What happens when he feels out of control, when things aren't good for him, when things aren't going well for him? Well, he tends to start shooting off at the mouth. Now, I have said in recent videos that I believe that between sort of now and the election, there are going to be two events that happen that really cause um like an aha moment for people in terms of exactly where Trump is cognitively, mentally, uh, physically. And I've said that one is going to happen sort of privately, right? So behind closed doors with, campaign people, his campaign staff, that kind of thing. And listen, I don't know, it could have already happened, which could be part of the reason that we don't see him anymore. He's spending all of his time at Mar-a-Lago, I don't know, driving around in his golf cart. I don't know, but he sure as heck isn't attending any big rallies. I mean, I think in part because he can't attract the crowds, right? And the ones he does attract seem to be leaving halfway through because his shtick has gotten old. All right, people are tired of it. It's the same old, same old. They've been listening to it for like 10 years now, and enough is kind of enough. So there's that. But I also said that there was going to be something that happened in public that was really going to be difficult for sort of him and his campaign to bounce back from. So it strikes me that a debate where he very quickly finds himself outgunned, where he very quickly finds himself being kind of mocked and being treated a little bit like a laughing stock or a caricature, could just send him right off the rails. And when that happens, heaven only knows what might come flying out of his mouth or what physical reaction he might have. Okay. And let's remember, he doesn't have any respect for her. All right. Well, he doesn't have any respect for women as a whole, but he really doesn't have any respect for her because not only is she a woman, but she's black, she's colored, she's brown, she's whatever she is. And he's going to make a big fuss about it. And he just looks stupid. But it's not going to stop him, right? Because he's not listening to the people around him who already now are on television saying, listen, he's got to stop with the personal attacks. It's not working. Okay. He's not listening because that's his comfort zone, right? That's where he thinks he's at his best and his sharpest. So he's going to keep doing that and it's just not going to work. So I think that you're going to see something at the, if not at the debate, either immediately before or immediately after. So within, I don't know, 24 hours on either side. Really, really feels to me like there's going to be kind of like a spring moment where he just becomes discombobulated and something happens. And that whatever that is it's going to be hard for it to be rolled back or taken back. It won't, you won't be able to pass it off as, oh, he was just talking, oh, he was just joking, oh, he was whatever. It's going to be like, oh my God, what did he just say or do? Or, right? Bottom line is that she's going to come out of the debate looking calm, rational, well spoken, and certainly very, very capable of handling his kind of nonsense. All right. He, on the other hand, is just going to continue to look like kind of the buffoon and the fool that he is. Worse, he's not only going to look like the buffoon and the fool that we have been watching for years, but he's going to look like that with significant cognitive decline apparent. All right. So, there you have the opposites, right? You have somebody cool, calm, and collected who is in control, and somebody not so much. So, what I think is that, and I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't look like the moderators are going to be doing a heck of a lot of anything to try to keep him on track or to fact check him. And don't be surprised if she is able to fact check him or just sort of make references to the fact that, whoa, that should be fact checked like that. Um, because she's not going to, um, this isn't going to be a debate about policy. Okay. This is going to be a debate about somebody who is not exactly sane and somebody who is. Somebody who sounds rational and intelligent and well spoken, and somebody who is babbling and rambling and talking about, I don't know, batteries and sharks and Hannibal Lecter for all we know. So that's the purpose of the debate, right? This is not a situation where you have two, well-spoken, experienced political people who are having a back and forth conversation about how a certain policy should be enacted or not enacted, right? That's not what this is going to be about. And I'm being told that there's going to be really, really high viewers. Okay, so there's a lot of people are going to be watching it, and they're going to be paying attention, particularly people who have kind of went, okay, let's put away the firecrackers and the hamburgers and hot dogs from Labor Day. I guess it's the fall time. I guess we need to pay attention because there's an election coming up. Those people who have been not necessarily disengaged, but just kind of busy living their life. They're going to be tuning in and going, okay, so, what are our options here? What are we looking at? And even those who have perhaps enjoyed Trump or thought they liked his policies, whatever, some of them are going to be watching this and going, oh my God, what happened to this guy? Like he's unhinged. And you know what? There's nothing that makes somebody look more unhinged than somebody standing on the other side who is so calm and so rational and so well spoken. And so that's exactly the difference. It's gonna be what distinguishes them. Um, So overall, I think that you're going to see Trump, a lot of word salads, a lot of babbling and stuff, but he's not going to answer questions. He's going to do exactly what he did with Joe Biden. And he's going to make outrageous statements that there's so much crap coming out of his mouth that nobody can kind of correct him in real time. And that's what he wants, right? He doesn't want anybody to actually call him on his BS. But she's going to have a way of making sure that there is a message that comes out that, you know what, really, you don't want to be listening to that. Nothing he just said was true. So it's going to be quite a contrast. I anticipate energetically as I'm looking at this that it's not going to take very long for him to really start like floundering, um, stammering and stumbling. I'm getting, a lot of like eye rolling and those funny faces he makes. But I'm also they're showing, I don't know that if this is literal or not, because honestly I don't pay that much attention to him. He kind of creeps me out. But they're showing me that his face is getting really red, and and his jaws clenching. So, and she's going to be like, this is lovely. What a lovely little chat we're having today. He doesn't have a hope in hell. So she's going to come out of it ahead. But in some ways, I have to tell you, it feels as if almost the fact that she comes out ahead is sort of overridden by this sort of shock at whatever it is that gets said or happens or he does with Trump. That feels very much like it's going to sort of steal the thunder. And unfortunately for him, it is not stealing the thunder in a way that is good for him. In fact, it's really bad for him because there's a lot of things that a lot of people have kind of put up with him because they like his policies or whatever it is. But there actually, believe it or not, are lines. And it feels very much like if he doesn't cross one of those lines, either verbally or somehow physically, um, then there is going to be some sort of an event that really calls into question his ability to be able to continue to move forward. And listen, anybody who thinks that Republicans are going to be able to convince him to step down or step back are deluding themselves. They have not been paying attention to the fact that for 10 years, Trump has been uncontrollable. And beyond that, he is surrounded by people whose mantra seems to be, oh, just let Trump be Trump. Just let him be Trump. Well, sometimes there's a limit. And I have a feeling he may very well hit that wall. So that's my take on my expectation for the upcoming debate between Trump and Harris. Get your popcorn ready because I think it's going to be a very interesting piece of television or however you watch it. All right. So thank you very much for being here again Friday. If you're for some reason seeing this video first, Pendulum Friday video has been released. It was released just a little bit earlier than this one. And so same deal, right? It's Friday, it's the weekend. Take good care. Take do something nice for yourself and somebody else. And I will look forward to seeing you very soon. Until then, take care and be well. Bye-bye for now.